we want to get down to, well, what is this all about? There's no doubt that I believe in what they're doing and how they're doing it, but maybe not the how, but what they're doing and what their intention is. So let's dig deep into this, Steph. Are you ready?
I am. I think this is very suspicious. I can understand them splitting the research arm and the therapeutic arm. It makes so sense because the research arm still has to go through the FDA if they're planning to get other products passed. But still, we're looking at penny stocks here.
Yeah.
So I'm really, really thrilled to see what is going to come
Okay.
out in the cards.
Okay.
Okay, Beth.
Welcome to another edition of Psychedelic Sages, where we provide intuitive insights, truth bust, and service watchdogs and guides for topics around spiritual medicines, more commonly referred to as psychedelics. Welcome, everyone, to another edition of Psychedelic Sages. I'm Beth Bell.
I'm Stephanie Salt.
And today we are going to take a closer look at Field Trip for many reasons, actually. The first thing I want to do, though, is make an announcement. So this last week on Monday, we did the launch of my book at Field Trip, one of their centers here in San Diego, actually in La Jolla. It's an amazing facility. But I want to give a little prop to my book, Angels, Herpes, and Psychedelics: Unraveling the Mind to Unveil Illusions. So we had an incredible turnout of people. Everyone told me, like, why are you doing a book launch? Like, nobody does those anymore. And if you do, no one shows up. And so I was kind of like, oh gosh, but it just felt right. It felt like I really wanted to do this event. And at the event, one of the main focuses was, of course, I want the book to be successful and I want people to buy the book. We had a sound bath and cacao ceremony to start. And the purpose for that was I really wanted to have the entire group infuse the intention together for humanity and for the healing and awakening of humanity, that the book and the words on the page and the vibration of what's in it, it's all about taking responsibility for your life, knowing that you are the creator of your life. It's about blowing up programs and storylines that are no longer serving you and releasing emotions. I go through so many modalities that I have personally experienced on my awakening journey. And then I end in the book with psychedelics and everything that plant-based medicines have brought me, amazing experiences, and the embodiment of a lot of the intellectual knowledge that I was gaining through the years and through the different modalities, but it helped me to embody it in a way that is just phenomenal. And Steph and I have both talked about the North Star of psychedelics, how it really just points you in the direction of where your soul's plan has you heading, but it really helps you to see it in such a beautiful way. So the launch meeting was a huge success. Steph, you were there. Do you have any thoughts, comments about what happened as a result of the whole launch meeting?
It was beautiful. It was standing room only. But the setting was so conducive to what we were calling it kind of a sacred convergence.
Yeah.
It was really one of the most beautiful things I've ever attended. And the fact that you launched your book in that environment, the beauty and the synchronicity and this how it just flows. And this is a corporate. It's in a
Yeah.
corporate. This is a big corporate that has this setting. So I'm happy that the medicine was honored in such a great space, and it was so opening and so welcoming to the launch of your book.
Yeah, the staff there, the Lauren, the manager, is just amazing. Um, all the other health practitioners were there answering questions. We had them speak about uh, ketamine and the patient experiences that they've had and the difference that they're making in the lives of a lot of people. And I think one of the reasons, I've disclosed this before, that I invested in Field Trip is because I knew from the beginning that the founders understood the importance of set and setting. And I think, Steph, this was your first visit there. It's just clear that the treatment rooms, the community areas, they have it dialed in. It is so zen. It is so beautiful, aesthetically beautiful, but energetically clean. And that's something that I don't think a lot of clinics are really honing in on is saging and cleansing and bringing that Zen-like experience. In fact, I don't know if you had any conversations with people towards the end of the event, but I had so many people come up to me and say, this space was incredible. And to put, the sound bowls and the cacao on top of it, and then all the messages that were delivered, they said it was really shifting for them. And so I was very honored that people felt that way. And I think a big part of it was the material, of course, that we delivered, and the things that I talked about and you talked about and other people that I had speaking talked about. But the space that we were in was such a container to really facilitate
That's
um,
beautiful.
yeah, everything to just really be on a much higher vibration. So that was great. But today, what we wanted to do is we wanted to do a reading on Field Trip, because we see that they've got it going on. We know that the founder is heavily involved, very conscious and in this space. But there's something really interesting happening with their stock. We've looked at stock of a lot of other companies, and we know that Field Trip did a split, and they are also Reunion Sciences. Did I get that right?
Neuroscience.
Yep. And they Reunion Neuroscience, and they are more the research arm, and Field Trip remains more the treatment arm. However, both stock, and we're going to look at it in just a minute, has plummeted. And so there's something that just doesn't feel right with that. Obviously, me personally as an investor, and for us, not that we're making official recommendations of what to buy and not to buy, because we're not making professional recommendations for this, but we are looking at it from a multi-dimensional perspective, which means we're pulling back the veil and we're looking at like what's really happening energetically with these companies. So I'm going to share my screen. Let's go over and see specifically what their stock looks like. So we see here that Reunion Neuroscience, which is their research arm now, came on the spotlight somewhere around October, and was actually quite high in their almost up to $30, right, a share. And now they've plummeted, not that many months later, below $5, below $2, right? So $1.89. So that begs a lot of questions as to what is happening with the money.
Mm-hmm.
And what we see here is let's just look here at the last 6 months. We can see that this is actually, this is where my lack of expertise in looking at reports like this comes in, because they, in the last 6 months, have had much higher rates. But I think the split that they did creates something within the system, and it takes out some of the back data, is what my guess is. I don't know, Steph, if you're privy to this, but I know that as we've looked at this before, the stock prices were much higher. And so we're seeing now that they're all the way down to 17 cents for Field Trip Health and Wellness. So there's a huge loss here. And we want to get down to, well, what is this all about? There's no doubt that I believe in what they're doing and how they're doing it, but maybe not the how, but what they're doing and what their intention is. So let's dig deep into this, Steph. Are you ready?
I am. I think this is very suspicious. I can understand them splitting the research arm and the therapeutic arm. It makes so sense because the research arm still has to go through the FDA if they're planning to get other products passed. But still, we're looking at penny stocks here.
Yeah.
So I'm really, really thrilled to see what is going to come
Okay.
out in the cards.
Okay.
Okay, Beth.
Let's see. Okay, it's to your right. It's a big card hanging out there. To your right, right there. That one right there. Right
Right
there.
here.
Yep.
Wow.
Okay, tell us about that.
Interesting card. This is a Seven of Cups. This is a card, if it's upright, it's a lot of options that were available that you have to choose from. But reversed is they were out of options. Something absolutely shifted where they felt they were backed into a corner. And I have a feeling it could be the regulatory corner that was causing the problem.
Okay.
Maybe the for-profit arm, the therapeutic arm was making money, but then the other research would be pulling it down because it's all money going out and nothing coming in.
Yeah.
So maybe they just had to make a hard no decision. I would really like to pull another card to clarify this one.
Yeah, I think that's a really good idea. Yeah.
So this card just fell off.
Because what comes to me when you say that is that they were kind of at the end of this, and it appears from that card that it didn't work.
No,
That their options that the few options they had, they tried, and it's flipped upside down for them, and it's not working.
exactly.
Yeah.
Let's do one more and see to clarify this seven of.
Okay, I got it. I see it. Go to the right.
Oh,
It's actually in the middle, right there, almost. Almost. Keep going to the right, to the right, to the
oh,
right.
right, right.
You're right. You're right. Right there. Oh no, back, back, right there.
Here.
Yep, right there.
Ha! Interesting. This is the wish card. This is the yes card.
Okay.
So I think they could not go forward with their wishes in the current formation of the company. So they had
Wait,
to
wait,
come up
when you
with
say current formation, you mean previously before the split or now?
for the split. They couldn't
Okay.
move forward. They could
Right.
not figure out how to get market share with
Right.
the regulatory noose around their necks. And then they have the ongoing clinical therapeutic that's a
Yeah.
fantastic environment. They couldn't put the two, it couldn't work.
But I kind
So
of see that as obvious. Like I think the question
so
for me right now is like, why now is it not working?
I think it's still in gestation period. This is a lack of investment or lack of energy into one side of the business, I feel. So I think they just ran out of options. They had to come up with a split. And now it kind of makes a little bit more sense to me why they did it. In order to save both companies, they had to split them.
Yeah, but that's again, that feels like I've never questioned their split. I just don't understand why the stock for both. I mean, Reunion was up, just under $30 a share, which is sort of like, how you always, I like your founder's paradise, when it's up to those high numbers,
Absolutely.
because it's all on, it's all on hype and it's all on hope, right? We've got this big story and we're telling the story and people buy it. And then for various reasons, it looks like that story is not the probable story. And so that's what I'm concerned about is if that's not the probable story, is it just the fear-based construct, right? Thought construct of the world that's causing this, or is it really an internal issue? I haven't looked at their patents. I haven't looked at their, what they're actually studying at Reunion Neurosciences and if they've gotten like a no-go from the FDA. So there's probably some, on one hand, I feel bad sometimes when I don't come with all the back knowledge, but on the other hand, it's really our point is that we're not here to infiltrate our minds with what's happening in the real world out there in the scene, because we want to read into the energy of what's really happening and not be tainted by some of the
Absolutely.
things that are out there. So I'm admitting what I don't know from the third dimensional realm, but this is all about looking at it from another dimension. If you're up for it, I kind of would like to pull one more card, but specific to the CEO and founder.
Yeah, but running out of options is really serious here. I
Yeah.
think they ran out of investment options as well. I don't think it was just, they couldn't get any money in this current formation, I think.
Yeah.
And that's what prompted them to actually move forward. But I really want to dig deeper behind the scenes to see where the money went, who took money, who took out shares.
Okay.
That is going to be very interesting and telling as to what's really going on in the inside of the company within itself. I
Yeah.
have a feeling that there was a huge amount of shares that were taken out of this company.
Yeah.
That's my feeling.
Okay.
And I hope to be proven wrong. I really do
Okay.
on
I hope
this.
so too.
Yeah.
I hope so too.
Okay,
So are
so
we
we're
gonna pull a
gonna.
card specific? Are we gonna pull a card specific to that about the money being pulled, or
Why don't we? We can do what the money that's been taken out. Let's just find out if that's true. Oh, and we'll part on the
and I have a resource where I can go to find out who can look at the back end of these quite swiftly to see who's taking the money out. All right. Okay, it's to your left, all the way to your left, actually, not the end one, but the next, right there, right there.
yeah. Here's the balance angel is upside down. So yes, something went awry here. This is the card of something happened in November of last year. Okay, so I think the merger we said came in October. Something happened in November with this company that is just out of balance with the forces of the cosmos.
Mm-hmm.
If it's in balance, it will look like this. If it's out of balance, it's going to look like this. So they did some shenanigans
Yep,
here. And I'm going to certainly look and find out exactly what happened here
yep.
because it's not on. So there's people that lost money, but I suspect there's people that made a lot of money too with the split, maybe with that had common stock, something like that.
Yeah, and what's coming to me is a sort of a mind med repeat. Uh,
Yes, absolutely mind
that
Mitch.
whole, which is really sad to think that
Sad.
people who are coming into this, building this business with the foundation of what the medicines do and having, reaped the benefits from the medicine, and then
Yes.
only to come back and say, okay, it doesn't matter, we'll just take the money and run. We're not saying right now that that's what's happened exactly here, but it does start to paint that picture.
It does. And this card also is the wish card, but it's also the card of greed.
Yeah,
Um and overabundant, taking
yeah,
for self. And that's what it feels like here.
yeah,
Greed. And I think if we go back and start digging, this is exactly what we're gonna find.
yeah, yeah. All right, let's pull one more card specifically on the founder.
Okay.
Okay, so let's take a look at the founder and see his role specific to the money and the shares. All right. Okay. It's more to your right, past the center to your right. Oh, right there, right there, right there. Down, 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 down. Nope, nope, and nope. You were on it. You were just on the wrong card because it's kind of hidden. Sorry, to your
Here.
left. Nope, just below that. Just below that, right there. Your fingers on it right now.
Oh yeah. This is the Five of Swords. Oh yeah. There was a battleground here. There was some fighting going on. And
Mhm.
but this is a card too of it all being for show. The whole merger, the whole thing being for outward show. This card sometimes will signify a person that loves to look good, smell good, be good, but behind the scenes, it's just for self,
Okay.
total self-interest. So absolutely, there was some major fighting, and I suspect that when we start digging deeper, there's a lot of people that cut their losses and got out.
Interesting. All right. Well, let's dig and see what we find. I mean, we're here to be truth tellers and truth busters, so that's what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess with that, is there anything else that we want to say about Field Trip right now, other than we know that on the front lines, they've got it going on. And if you
They
have someone
do.
that's struggling from mental health or just wants to have an expanded state of consciousness, they are the place to go. Of all the
Absolutely.
ketamine clinics right now, not that I've been in every ketamine clinic, but I can tell you that they've got it going on. And I would highly recommend that anyone participate in their clinics there. And I know they're doing a lot more community-based events as well that are beyond just the the ketamine infusion, so injection. So yeah. All right, well, that was a tough reading. We started with something
Was.
exciting, really good, and we got down to just something a little not so good, but stay tuned, and we're going to be doing more readings, and we'll do a follow-up to this one because it sounds like we
Yeah.
have a little bit of homework to do, and we'll share what we find out. And of course, if any of you listeners out there have any comments or you have any insight or insider information that you want to share, for sure, put it down below and in the comments and let us know what you think.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in to this episode. You can get more in-depth information on our Patreon site, Psychedelic Sages.